What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on Gordon Racing 412. Full disclosure, I recently started a new job, so I haven't had as much time as I normally would to work on all of these boats. Now, my new job right now is taking up a lot of my time, but in the future I'm going to have a lot more time off to do this stuff. So this video is more of a recap. I wanted to tell you guys, because we have a lot of new followers, just kind of all of the boats that we have in the works, all the engine projects, all of everything. Talk about each one of them, introduce the different boats, and also talk about what the plan is going forward for most of them. So we're going to start this video off with a boat that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my Blue Delta. So I picked up this Delta 5 or 6 years ago now, and when I got it, it was in a pretty rough shape. The transom was solid, but the floor and the stringer were not. It was pretty ugly, especially on the inside of the boat. So we redid the floor and the stringer in Kusa, and originally I rigged it with a 75 horsepower short shaft OMC 49 cube. And I drove it like that for a couple of years until I built my SST60. The Delta has been one of those funny boats that, through all of our racing and everything that we've learned when it comes to balancing boats, when it comes to setup and stuff like that, the Delta was accidentally set up really well right from the get-go. And it was something that we didn't realize until I started driving some of the other boats and just realized they don't handle the way that my Delta does. So my Delta has been the benchmark for us in a racing perspective. But remember when I said the transom was solid? Well, it's not anymore. So after racing it for a couple of years, it's developed a pretty bad crack on the transom that really needs to get fixed. So the plan for this boat is to do a transom this winter, and then also I'm going to build a new power head for it. Now I have a nice 56 cubic inch sandcast block that you may remember I put on the barbecue a long time ago, but I never finished it. So that power head is going to go back together, and it's going to be on the Blue Delta, and that is the boat that I'm most likely going to race for the 2026 season. So the Blue Delta staying basically as is. It's a fast boat the way that it is. The boat has done 76 miles an hour. It's super stable, it corners really well, and it is the boat that brought me the 2024 TA50 championship. And I love that boat so much, so I just want to leave it the way that it is, but it does need a transom. So that's first thing, and you'll see that this winter. That boat will get a composite Kusa transom. Alright, so the next boat on the list is a boat that you guys should be familiar with, but that is my dad's 13-foot Critchfield, the orange number 509. Now my dad's boat is a very, very fast boat. You'll remember this year we did all those lower unit tests with it. Watching those videos, you know, that boat, it did 77 miles an hour in those videos. And if you remember, in the first race in Tweed, he had a spin and then the motor blew up. So the whole rest of the year, he was running the backup powerhead on that boat, and it was just never as fast as it was in those preseason testing videos. So that powerhead is going to get rebuilt. But the problem with the 509 Critchfield is that it is a heavy old girl. And even though it is now a fully Kuza composite boat, it still weighs 610 pounds with no driver and no fuel. Now the weight for our class is, I believe it's 726 pounds including the driver. So you can do the math on that. You put a 180 pound driver in a 610 pound boat, and even without fuel, you are far over where we should be. So we're not entirely sure what to do with it. Now, if you've been here since the very beginning, one, I thank you for still watching, but you'll know that we have the molds to build Critchfields, and we are planning on building one very, very soon, and there will be videos on that when we do it. We're going to document the whole process. That Critchfield that we build in the next month or two, that is going to be a boat that we keep. Now, you'll also remember that my dad recently picked up a Mercury 650 XS. And he is still undecided on whether or not the 650 XS is going to go on the new Critchfield that we build, or if the new Critchfield that we build is substantially lighter than the 509 Critchfield that he has currently, he may put the SST 60 on the new Critchfield and then put the 650 XS on the 509. So we're still unsure about that, but either way, there's a new Critchfield coming. There will be a new Critchfield coming very soon. The 650 XS, we've been working on it in the background. I have footage of it, but not enough quite yet to show you, but it's coming in a future video as well. It could possibly end up on the orange 509. We gotta wait and see. We gotta see how this new boat comes out, and there's a possibility my dad could be racing a brand new Critchfield for next year. So that's what's happening with the 13-foot Critchfield. The boat itself is super solid. It's all composite. It's done. There's nothing that needs to be done to the hull. So that is staying as is. It's just dependent on what engine is going to be on it. And that original Sandcast powerhead that he had at the beginning of the year, that's getting rebuilt as we speak. And that's going to be back on whatever boat he's racing. All right, Mellow Yellow. That's my 13-foot Checkmate MX-13. And you might remember it. It was a whole build series on building Mellow Yellow in all composite to go and compete in TA50. Now, I made a mistake when I put that boat together, and I did not account for how much flex a Kuza transom has, and I put the transom knees 4 feet apart, and that was a mistake. So I am currently working on restructuring the transom again. Let this be a lesson to all of you that if you have any doubt of whether or not it's strong enough, just beef it up. Just beef it up a little bit extra. Don't cut any corners. Otherwise you'll end up like me and you're doing it twice. But Mellow Yellow was overall a success. The boat performed very well for what it was. It had a lot of top end speed, which is something that people thought a Checkmate could not do. But it didn't handle very well. And I may address that in the future, but for now, I just want to see it go together and survive a summer as is. So Mellow Yellow is going back together with a stronger, thicker transom with transom knees on the inside. And again, You'll see this in a video. I have been working on it, but I don't have enough to show you yet. You'll see it very soon. And the plan, I think, for Mellow Yellow is the 59 cubic inch Mercury build. You've probably seen it already, but most likely the 59 cube will end up on Mellow Yellow, and we're going to test the Mercury with that. I have all the data of what that boat did with the SST60. So we're going to put it back together, probably with the Mercury, and we're going to use it kind of as a test bed, and I'm just going to bomb around the lake with it and have fun. That's the plan. Now, some of you that have been watching for a while, you might know that Mellow Yellow is not the only Checkmate MX-13 that we have in the fleet, because we also have the green MX-13 Checkmate. And that boat is currently sitting in the Canadian Raceboat Hall of Fame with a 75 Hustler on the back of it. Now, the green Checkmate actually belongs to my girlfriend. It was a boat that we bought and rigged just so that she had something to bomb around on the lake with us. And her engine is actually a short shaft 56 cubic inch. It's the Surf 60. So the Surf 60 is just a motor that we built. It's a completely stock power head. There's nothing fancy about it, but it did, however, build a nitro case for it. So it will have a short shaft 56 cube with a nitro case, and the nitro case that I built is one of those cases that has the different gear ratios. So lower unit might be on and off, trying different gears, trying different whatever, but the plan for that boat is to just get it back in the water. It does need a transom. I don't know that it's gonna get one before next summer, but regardless, it's going to be in the water with a short shaft OMC and a nitro case of some type of gear ratio. So the next boat we're looking at is my sister's 13-foot Delta. It is very much just the same boat as my blue boat. We tried to copy the setup as much as possible. Now, this boat was super rough when we picked it up a couple of years ago, and it got a full composite rebuild top to bottom. It is composite stringer, composite floor, composite transom, and it actually has a brand new deck that was built for it. Splash weld delete. It's a very, very nice boat. The problem with my sister's boat is that my sister has always just gotten the leftover power heads. She has never had her own power head that has been really, really strong. Now, this year, that's going to change. We are building her a sandcast block. It's going to be ported the same way as the other motors are, and hopefully that means that she's going to have a 75-mile-an-hour Delta so that she can go out there and actually compete, because you've seen from some of the other videos that she just has never had the horsepower that we've had on our boats, and it shows when you're on a race course. It does get pulled pretty hard on the straightaways. So my sister's boat, again, it's a completely done boat. There's nothing that needs to happen to the boat itself, but it is getting new power for 2026. Now, a couple honorable mentions, boats that have been on the channel in the past. You'll remember our Delta Code Red. Now, Code Red is done, and we sold it. It's gone. But that boat was a 49 cubic inch short shaft. It had the big gear case on it, and it was sold to a guy who's just driving it around. But he also has another red Delta, which you may remember we rigged with an SST60. So chances are, because we've been dealing with him a lot, both of those boats will end up back on the channel at some point. But both of them are red. Both of them have short shaft OMCs. One's an SST60, one's a 49 cube, and both of them are currently running. So hopefully we don't see them anytime soon, but chances are the other two deltas will be back at some point for something. And that leads us to our third delta, which is the yellow one that we just picked up. Now, we don't have any immediate plans for the yellow delta, but let me know what you guys think. Is there something, maybe a power combo, a package that we could put together that would be intriguing to the people? I don't know. The chances are we're going to rebuild the boat at some point. There's no immediate plan. But I think it'd be cool to rig it with something a little bit different. You know, we're kind of going down this Mercury route right now. You know, maybe a 4-stroke or maybe a Yamaha or something else would be cool to do with it. But I honestly have no idea what the plan is. It is just in my yard, covered up, not on the agenda right now. I guess the last boat we could talk about is my 17-foot JCraft. Now, you guys will remember I just dropped a sheet of plywood in the thing as a floor with a Home Depot rug over it. And I threw on the back of it a 60 horsepower 4-stroke short shaft. Now, that package was not ideal, but it worked for what I needed it to do this summer, and that was just kind of get us around the lake. I was really hoping that we would get to that boat this winter. I'm not sure that's going to happen with the new Critchfield build and the transom in my Delta, but the idea with that boat is I just want to make it a really wicked lake cruiser. But it needs more power than the 60, definitely. And yeah, I'm just not sure what to do for power on that still. I'm still contemplating that idea. So that'll be on the docket eventually. It might be next fall by the time we get to it, but we got to see. But the JCraft, at the very least, will probably go back in the water exactly the same way that it was this summer. So it was very slow. It's a very heavy boat. 60 horsepower is not enough for it. And I mean, I had a 22 pitch prop on it. It did not want to rev out at all. Yeah. What can you do? There's only so much time in a day. Like I said, I'm hoping to have more time going forward, but we shall see. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is a little bit of a filler video, a little bit of an introduction for some of the new subscribers here. I hope you guys follow along. We got lots of stuff coming up, and I'm going to have a lot more time to do this, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So, until then, we'll see you.